Alright guys, so yesterday I kind of started on the rear strut tower assembly I got from Speedtech. They send you 2 reinforcement plates, the strut tower, and some extra spacers to go in between these 2 mounting plates and the trunk, because you got run both bolts through the trunk through this for extra support. But I got the reinforcement plates welded in place. I noticed this gap right here because the 74 Novas have more of a curved frame rail. Some of them, not all of them. And the 72s are more flat. You have this hump, you got a oddball. You got the oddball frame rails like me. So I'll fix this or fill this in or heat it up, bend it up, weld it in after I get that mocked up, because I want it to all sit flush and level. The other issue I was having, so I called them to ask them some technical questions. Because once you put this up here in place, try to pick this up with one hand, like this, where it sits like that, like that. You got to measure 21 inches from the center of the shackle bolt over to here, and that's basically where it's going to line up front to back. The issue I seen and was a little concerned about is there is a 1/2 inch gap or 1/4 inch on each side of side to side plate, and I wanted to sit flush. So I called them, racked their brain on why that is, and they basically told me that they do that because none of the measurements in between frame rails on these old cars are exactly the same, and some are tweaked, some ain't, so they leave a little wiggle room. So they told me to cut some spacer plates and put in there to fill the gap up and center it up. So I cut 2 pieces of 1/4 inch flat steel that I had laying around to put on each side. I'm gonna clean those up, weld those in at my 21 inch mark from the rear shackle. Hold it back up there, mock it up again, and we'll go from there. So far, everything, the instructions are real descriptive. You got tons of pictures, tons of measurements on everything. Everything's pretty much straightforward. I'm trying to find the measurements of where can't find it. Anyways, there it is. Leaf spring shackle center, approximately 21 inches towards the front of the car is where you'll line up your strut bar. Now, I'm not actually going to weld this all the way in until I'm ready. Mock the rear end, the subframe up, and all that stuff to make sure my coilover angle, your front to back, is good with the axle centered in the wheel well. So I won't fully weld that that in until I get it all locked up, measurements pulled and all that stuff. So that's where I'm at now. I used to own a powder coat business, and I sold all my stuff besides like the stuff I initially started off with. So like my low Eastwood dual voltage gun, my household oven, I still kept all that stuff. And yesterday I powder coated my transmission, cross member, my motor mount adapter, or my motor mount stands, I guess you could say, and the spacers that go in the middle of the strut tower and the trunk pan. That's all I can do in my little household oven. So I called a buddy of mine that bought all my powder coat stuff. You know, in the next week or so, he said I'll be able to bring the chassis down, the rear end housing down, my torque arm, my other mounts and stuff I got, and I still got all the powder that I used to have. I kept all that stuff. I'll show you right here. So I still have all of the powder that I still had. We're going to schedule a time for me to come down. We're going to sandblast the subframe rear end housing, and I'm going to spray it myself, because I know how I want it to look. But anyway, that's where we're at now. I'll try and get y'all another update video on the strut tower and all that stuff another day. Anyways, man, if you want to see something else, you know, something I'm not covering, or something you'd like to know, you got any questions or anything, leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer it.